Hello and welcome to What Is, the channel that unpacks life's biggest questions, one confusing concept at a time. Today, we're tackling a whopper. We're talking about events that defy explanation, moments that suspend the laws of physics, and stories that form the bedrock of faith for billions. Today, we're asking, what is a miracle, and how do religions decide what counts? At its simplest, a miracle is an event that is not explicable by natural or scientific laws. It's a divine intervention, a wink from the universe, a metaphysical exception to the rule. You pray for rain during a drought, and a sudden, localized downpour fills your reservoir. A doctor gives a terminal diagnosis, yet the patient walks out of the hospital completely healed. A religious statue appears to weep, or, find the perfect parking spot right outside the bakery on a Saturday morning. The scale varies, but who gets to decide if that parking spot was truly divine, or just a happy coincidence? That's where it gets complicated. Because the definition, authentication, and very purpose of a miracle are almost entirely dependent on one thing: the rule book of the religion reporting it. Let's start with an old-school pro in the miracle game, Catholicism. The Vatican doesn't just take anyone's word for it. They have a process, and it is rigorous. Think of it less like a divine lottery, and more like the world's most serious academic peer review. For a healing to be considered a miracle, say, for the canonization of a saint, the Catholic Church sends in a team of doctors, theologians, and skeptics called the Congregation for the Causes of Saints. The event must be instantaneous, permanent, and complete. And crucially, it must be medically inexplicable. They're not just looking for a recovery. They're looking for a recovery that makes doctors throw their hands up and say, "Well, I've never seen that before." If modern science can explain it, even theoretically, it's not a miracle. It's just good medicine. It's a tough crowd. You couldn't just walk in and say, "My knee feels better." You'd need MRI scans before and after, sworn testimonies, and probably a note from your mum. Now, let's hop over to Protestant Christianity. The vibe is often quite different. There's generally less central bureaucracy. Miracles aren't usually required for formal sainthood because the concept of sainthood is different. Instead, miracles are often seen as a regular, expected manifestation of the Holy Spirit. They're a gift of faith, available to all believers. You'll see this in Pentecostal or charismatic churches where speaking in tongues, faith healings, and prophecies are part of weekly worship. The authentication here is often more communal. It's validated by the shared faith and witness of the congregation, not a distant panel of experts in Rome. In Judaism, the landscape is also nuanced. The Hebrew Bible, what Christians call the Old Testament, is packed with miracles. The parting of the Red Sea, manna from heaven, the sun standing still. But in mainstream rabbinical Judaism today, there's a strong emphasis on the greatest miracle of all: the laws of nature themselves. The famous 12th century scholar, Maimonides, argued that we shouldn't expect God to break the very rules he created. A miracle, in this view, was written into the fabric of the universe at the moment of creation, a predetermined exception to the code. For many Jews, the focus is less on spectacular, one-off events, and more on finding the miraculous in the everyday. The birth of a child, the intricate beauty of nature, the survival of the Jewish people itself. That's the real wonder. In Eastern traditions, the definitions shift even more. In Hinduism, miracles or siddhis are seen as spiritual powers that can be attained through advanced meditation and yoga. But here's the fascinating part. They're often considered distractions. A holy man who levitates might be impressive, but if he's showing off, he's missed the point. The true goal is enlightenment, not party tricks. The miracle is internal transformation, In Buddhism, the Buddha himself was reportedly hesitant about displaying miracles, fearing people would focus on the magic, not the message. The real miracle in Buddhism is the achievement of nirvana, the ultimate liberation from suffering. Anything else is just a sideshow. And in Islam, miracles are primarily the domain of prophets, with the Quran itself considered the ultimate eternal miracle given to Muhammad, its literary perfection and divine origin being the proof. While stories of other wonders exist, the focus is on the miracle of the revelation. So, we have a spectrum. On one end, a highly legalistic, evidence-based system designed to prove an event is beyond science. On the other, a more faith-based communal acceptance of the supernatural. And in others, a dismissal of flashy displays in favor of internal, spiritual awakening. Which brings us to the modern world. In our age of deepfakes, CGI, and instant global communication, how does a miracle survive scrutiny? It's harder than ever. A viral video of a weeping Madonna can be debunked by a VFX artist in an afternoon. A claimed healing can be examined by a global network of doctors. This forces religions to double down on their verification processes or, conversely, to lean harder into the primacy of personal faith. Because, when you get right down to it, the most important miracle might be the one that convinces you. It's the event that, against all odds and reason, affirms an individual's belief. No panel of experts can truly validate or invalidate that personal experience. So, what is a miracle? It's a breach of the natural order, sure. But more importantly, it's a story. A story that a community or an individual tells to make sense of the inexplicable, to find hope in the desperate, and to affirm their place in a universe that might just be listening. It's less about the event itself, and more about the meaning we assign to it. The rules are just the framework we build to try and understand the wonder. What do you think? Have you ever experienced something you'd call a miracle? Or do you think there's a scientific explanation for everything? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this dive into the divine, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos answering the questions you never thought to ask. Thanks for watching.